Hi everyone, Jacqueline here, and today we are gonna do curb appeal in the front yard. It's time to get some fall color into the garden and make things beautiful. Right now the weather's still warm, so we can reuse some of our plants that we have in our existing containers and then add some color to them and a little bit of whimsy. You guys know I'm all about whimsy, right? Just adding a little bit of fun stuff to it. So let's get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. It is free. And I want to thank everyone for watching this in advance, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is the front step that I'm gonna go and add curb appeal to, some decoration and some plants for fall. Now you can see it's a very small step, very narrow. I haven't got a railing on it yet. That's in the plans, but we can't fit a lot on here. So I can fit 2 big containers here on this step to add color. So my color scheme right now is pretty much browns, Loden green, and white for the windows. So you can see there's not a lot of room on the house front to add stuff, except over here in this area right here, this room to add things. But over here, you know, you've got all your mechanical stuff. So there's a few things I want to do here to give this some oomph for fall, and I'm going to share that with you as I work through it and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so this is what we're working with for plants. I've got some ornamental peppers. I've got some violas here. I've got some silver artesia. I have a bunch of different chrysanthemums. I picked the flower heads off. Then I've left some purple and some red to identify them. So you can see everything that's here. Aren't these cute? All right, and then over here, these are the gourds and stuff from my garden that I'm gonna work with. And I'm gonna set them up on this step with this purple fountain grass, you can see. And then I have in here, I'm going to take out the petunia that's left over, and I have coleus and cannas in here. And I have a super windy day, you guys, so this is probably going to be pretty muffled. Anyhow, I'm going to start working some stuff in. I'm going to show you as I go along. Okay, this is how I'm going to work them in so far. I'm putting the viola here, the ornamental peppers here, the silver artesia here, chrysanthemum there, a purple chrysanthemum there, and then another of the orange chrysanthemums there, and then we have the coleus in the back, and that should work. So I'm going to put this one together, and then I'm going to duplicate it on this one. I've added the violas. I did pull one chrysanthemum out. I didn't put the purple chrysanthemum in, but I took the red. The violas are a little weepy, but they are okay. You can see there's coleus in there still. The cannas are looking good, so I left them because of the color contrast. There's the peppers, and there is the silver artesia, and then there is the chrysanthemum there. So all in all, it's all the way around, and we're not done with this yet because we're going to add some oomph to it if I can fit it in. So, but I'm going to start on this other one. So from a distance, this is how it's looking. You can see it, and that's the first pot done. And you can see those violas really stand out next to the peppers. So once it starts to fill in a little bit, give it a week, it should look really good. I did not add any fertilizer to it. I will on the first watering, but right now I just want them to settle in. So now we're going to work on the next one. And this one should be easier to work with because there's more room in the pot. The tighter rimmed pots are a little harder, especially with the cannas in there. So this one should be easier. So I'm going to duplicate this look over there, and then I'll show you the finished product of the two. And then I'm going to have to hose down my step and stuff and clean it up. And we have a super, super high wind day. So everything's being knocked down. Thank goodness these are full of water and they will be okay. All right, so there they are, both in place. They look really good. I actually like the contrast of the grass with the cannas, and they look good, I think, because they both have that purple hue to them. And then you see the peppers stand out, and so do the violas. I was a little smarter on the second planting of the viola in this pot. What I did is I cut her back. The other one I left pretty bushy, and I probably should have cut it back because it had overgrown its pot. And you can see that the silver in there is what makes that look gorgeous in that plant. It's that pop of color that it needs with the orange. So I'm really happy with how these look. And the only problem I have with this whole arrangement is my pots are different, right? So, but considering the grass is always already in there, a little contrast won't hurt. In the end, you're going to see the plants. So my next thing is I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go and add a little pop of color to these window boxes. I already took the ornamental kale out. Grasshoppers had ate it down to pretty much nothing. So I'm just going to go through and add some chrysanthemums in here to perk these two up with some yellow tone color to brighten them. All right, so I added the chrysanthemum in there, and you can see I added the gourd in there, and that looks pretty good. I might add something else here yet. I'm just debating this, but I love the color with the black mamba and the pinks and the golds. It's starting to look like autumn, but yet colorful. So I'm gonna go look at this other one over here. And the only thing with this one is it's being crowded out, so you can't see it. So I'm just gonna pick a little bit of this stuff back to give it a little more oomph so you can see it in the mix there. I'm trying to say which branch is causing issues. Okay, that looks a lot better. So you can see the different plants I had in there from my original window boxes that I planted, and then I've added that in there. I think I do have room for maybe something else in here. I've got to go and decide what that's going to be, and I'm just picking some of this back to let some of these plants get some light. I feel like the mamba is a little bit on the dominant side. Surprise, surprise. But isn't this a beautiful plant, you guys? Isn't that a nice contrast for fall? So now you can clearly see it in the fall arrangement. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know if I need to add anything else to it or not. Maybe we'll try something here and just see. All right, so I added another gourd here at the end, and she looks good. And then it's got that pop of color over there, which works. And then it's the same over here with this one. You can see I add the gourd here. And then I added the other one here with all the color. Okay, so those window boxes have been updated. So simple. If you plant your basic colors when you do your window boxes, and then all you have to do is pop some spots of color in for fall, and voila, you have a fall arrangement that is so easy to look after. And I'm really loving these. They look gorgeous. All right, let's decorate the step now, because this is all about curb appeal. Although I did throw the window boxes in here because I felt like this was my chance to do them and give them that pop of color while I'm at it out here, even though the bed looks like crap. That's another story and another day to do that. But yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, let's decorate the step now. So I'm trying to decide, do I want these two together like this, tight, and then decorate down below, or do I want them split? To me, it seemed like there was a bit of a gap in between them when I did them separate. So I'm gonna do a couple rearrangements here and just see what I like here, because I do want the color. Oh, there goes my pumpkin rolling away. And this is a sugar spice pumpkin. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stop. And now I'm going to decide how I want these. I thought maybe I would decorate the bottom step and put them in front. But you know, you guys, I don't like that gap in the steps. I do like one pot down one step and a step in between. It just looks too crammed together for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move. So you can see how I've lined them up. I put the squash down below, and then I've lined up some pumpkins and the gourds in there. And they should be fine like that. I do think though down below here I need to add a couple more gourds, so I'm going to go hunt them down. But I think it's starting to look really, really pretty. So that looks a lot better. It evens the color out because we have green, 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 orange, orange, orange. Maybe a little much orange up on the top, but we're going to go with it. And then we have the yellows in here to bring out the colors of the house and to bring out the colors of the plants in the pots. So that looks kind of cool like that. All right, we aren't done yet though. We said we were doing a video on curb appeal. This is just the start of curb appeal. We have finishing touches to do here to make this complete. So I'm just gonna back out a bit so you can see how that's looking from a side view. Now back up here and you can see from head-on view. So that's how it looks. I love the way those grasses are moving in the wind. And you can see now the pop of orange really draws the attention to the step. And I'm hoping to save those gourds. I won't be able to save the pumpkin, but save the gourds and dry them good. I would plant gourds and pumpkins again for color and to use in the landscape purely for this, just because of the color they give. Like, they're just phenomenal in the landscape. And I wish I had more of the dark orange, the deeper orange, bigger gourds, but in smaller ones, like in tiny ones, and I could use those, but I don't have any of those in my patch. So we're gonna work with what we got. Okay, now let's accent this whole thing. Okay, you guys, so now we're adding the finishing touches to this display. And as you can see, I have this wreath. I've had this wreath for a few years. I've added a few things to it over the years, but I've kept it. And they do get a little squished up when they're packed away, but for the most part, I think it looks pretty good. You know, some things you just gotta, kind of tuck in and fix. Now, what I do with my wreaths that might be different from other people is I put them in between the doors, because we have terrible wind and I want it to survive from year to year. So I will hang it in between the doors, and then it will provide that accent, and you can see it through the glass. So you can see that this little wreath, I add some velvet orange pumpkins into it. We have some rose hips in it. There's some little gourds. I mean, this is all artificial, you guys. There's some more little pumpkins. You can see the gourds. Some berries, pine cones. I just think it's really sweet when you add stuff like this to decorate or for curb appeal. It just warms everything up for fall. Fall doesn't have to be a dreaded time, knowing winter's around the way. Fall should be a time to celebrate the glorious colors that we're heading into and to enjoy them. And this is what this arrangement's supposed to do, is provide those glorious colors and brighten the front step and make it welcoming. Now you can see the wreath on the door and how it draws out the orange in the gourds and the plants. So now I'm going to cheat. I didn't have any sunflowers this year. I'm going to see what it looks like if I add some silk sunflowers to this for that pop of color. Yes, I'm a gardener. Yes, I grow stuff, but sometimes things don't work out. But I tend to consider decorating gardening something that you can combine when you're doing arrangements and displays. So I've got some gorgeous sunflowers here, and we're going to see how they look in this arrangement. I did not like my sunflowers in these containers. It just didn't work for me. I think they're good enough the way they are. Once they fill in, they'll be beautiful. But I did add them to the window boxes for color. And look at that. Now that's a pop. Now I only had 3 sunflowers, so I combined the end with the yellow squash on the end, just a little guy, to bring out some little bit of touch of yellow there. And then over here, this one got the extra sunflower there in the corner, in the back, right there. Look, there's dirt on my fingernails. No, I don't. They're painted. Right there. And then the orange is right there. Now to me, that has finished off the arrangement. The only problem I see is this guy needs to be a little bit more prominent. I'm just gonna try to position him so he stands out a bit more. There we go. All right, so the window boxes are done. They're looking really, really nice. I am happy with them. I hope you guys like them. Don't be afraid to combine silk flowers and gourds and all sorts of stuff, whatever you can find around, to create your displays. Creativity is what it's all about. And you know what they say, there's more than one way to handle plants and to plant them, but it's what works best for you to create what you want to create. And that's what this is about, creating what your vision is and what you like in your garden, because you're the one that has to live with it and enjoy it. So, and don't be afraid to be creative and take a chance. And one thing about these sunflowers, I hope they survive, because I'd like to reuse them. That's the nice thing about the silk and the gourds and stuff, you can reuse them. So, that are those windows boxes. Wow, are they nice and full now? Loving them. All right, back to being creative on the step and putting some finished touches there. Okay, this is the final touch to this curb appeal video. This is a mat that I ordered on Amazon. I needed a 36-inch mat, something that would fit for a 36-inch store, I should say. So I got one as big as I could, and I was looking for certain colors. And you can see the colors I was looking for were the oranges, greens, turquoises, and yellows, and blacks, and browns to accent my colors in my house. So that is the final accent to the front door to pull everything together. Now I want to step back and see how this whole thing looks, and let's see if it's what I envision. All right, it looks really good, you guys. I like it. The only thing I would add to this is a railing and put some garland on it. So if I had a railing, I would add that to this and put some beautiful fall garland on it on both sides, and I think that would really finish it. So that's going to be a goal of mine for the next time I do this. But for now, I am totally happy with it. The colors all work. They're my happy colors. It's the vision that I had in mind. I knew I was missing, you know, some of the things here, that like a railing and stuff and decoration there, but it's something to improve on. Thank you very much, everybody. And the gardening warmed your soul. It sure has warmed mine today. This made me feel really good doing this. I thoroughly enjoyed this kind of work rather than digging holes all the time. Anyhow, bye.